I've got two things to talk to you about. The first thing is called the CamJam EduKit. After May's Jam, we had a lot of worksheets to do with learning electronics and learning basic programming using those electronics, lighting up LEDs, making a buzzer buzz, taking a switch input. And myself and Tim were thinking, okay, that's great, we've got this material, how do we use it outside the jams? Maybe we could put some kind of kit together, because we'd already made up the kits for the workshops in the May Jams. We thought maybe we could do that and sell the kits. And about that time, Jamie from the Pi Hut came to us with a very similar thing. You know, we've got all this educational material, can he help us put some kits together using the material? So, in partnership with the Pi Hut, we've developed this. It comes in a tin, and as we all know, just like LEDs, tins are cool. In the tin, you basically get what amounts to a Pi-brella, but not made up. You have to make it yourself. So in there, you've got a breadboard, resistors, LEDs, a button, a buzzer, and all the wires you need to connect it all up. And at the same time as that, you've got worksheets to download that will take you through from first principles how to make Python say hello world, to lighting up LEDs, to reading in the button press. And the end game on it is to give you projects that you can work on using your knowledge that you've established up to that point, to do traffic light systems, to make mini games. And all it costs is £5. We've tried really hard to keep the cost as low as possible. The profits that are made go back into CamJam. Pi Hut's doing it for zero cost, which I think is fantastic. If you want to know more, if you go to that URL, you can see all the worksheets. So if you happen to have all the LEDs and that kind of thing lying about, you can just download the educational material. That doesn't cost you a thing, and there's a link on there that you can go to buy the kit, or you can go outside and buy them today. As I say, it's only £5, and we've tried to aim it at pocket money level, and the kind of level that schools don't mind paying if it will teach the kids a lesson in a non-difficult kind of way. Okay, so any questions on the EduKit? I better give this back to Jamie because I borrowed it. The other thing I want to speak to you about is PiWars. In December's Jam, we're going to hold a challenge-based robots competition, which is going to be open to everybody. You can enter it on your own, you can enter it as a family, you can enter it as a class from school, you can enter it as a group of kids who got together at a Pi club, or a group of adults that have got together at a jam. Anybody can enter. But every single robot must have a Raspberry Pi at its core. Now, that's slightly open to interpretation. What we mean is we want the Raspberry Pi to be responsible for controlling the robot. So it's got to be Pi controlled. We're going to have two categories of robot, below £75 and above £75. We reckon £75 is about as much as a basic robot costs. We reckon we can get it down to about 60, including the Pi. That's just for us trying to work things out. It does mean that it's open to things like, if you happen to find a load of motors down the tip and that hasn't cost you anything, it hasn't cost you anything, so you don't need to work out how much that cost. If you bought the motors, then that does count towards it. It's a points-based competition, so each challenge will get you points that will add to your overall total. And say there's 12 challenges, there's not, but say there was, you wouldn't have to enter every single one of them. It's obviously to your benefit if you do, because you can earn more points that way. But if we have a line following robot competition and your robot doesn't follow lines, well, you can't enter that one, but that doesn't mean you can't enter the rest of it. And there will be additional prize categories. Prettiest robot, will be judged by Rachel from the Pi Foundation. And we'll also be doing things like looking at the code and seeing if it's well documented and if it's laid out well, which is entirely subjective and is going to be judged by a load of programmers who will pick apart your code at the seams. Challenges. We're not going to let you know what all the challenges are until the 1st of August. But these are some of them. Straight line speed test, literally from one line on the floor to another line on the floor, how quickly can you go? A line follower course, artistic merit, as I've said. We're going to build an obstacle course with different textures in it, so can your robot drive through a load of marbles? Can your robot drive over ball bearings, sand? Don't worry, we're not going to make you go through water. I've been told water is a bad idea with robots, so. There is a size limit on your robot. Its footprint has to be less than an A3 size bit of paper, which means that PiWars' massive, great tank robot can't enter. I've been reliably told that does about 25 miles an hour, so that would be out of the question. And we're also going to have a sumo battle. Probably most of you here have seen Robot Wars. We're not going to make it confrontational with flamethrowers, spinning discs of death. Aww. I know. There are so many. We're thinking about a side tournament that could be like a black market side tournament where it would be a case of destroy each other's robots.
Is Craig Charles coming in?
No, we're going to have a stand-in Craig Charles. We're asking for donations of long leather jackets. But we are going to have a sumo battle. So your robot will face off against another robot, and it'll be a case of who can push each other out of a circle without burning each other's motors out, which could be interesting. Full details of all the challenges, all the rules, which there aren't that many, but there are some, will be on Friday the 1st of August. He says not keeping that date free to actually do the work, but it'll be the 1st of August. And we'll do it through Eventbrite, so you register that way for entering the competition. And obviously there'll be tickets to actually come and watch the PiWars. To help support this event, in September's Jam, where we had focus on education for the May Jam, we're going to have focus on robotics. It's not going to be all about robotics, so if you don't like robotics, there'll still be something for you. But we want to give if people need help building their robot, we'll have specialists available to help people put things together and that kind of thing. Any questions on PiWars?
Are you limiting the number of people that can enter? Is there like a cap?
There will be a cap. Yeah, there will be a cap based on how I've got to work out a timetable for how long the challenges will take us. What we will probably do is cut challenges rather than entrance.
Are there any prizes?
There will be prizes, because what do points make? There will be prizes. We haven't settled on what they're going to be yet. At one point we were going to make the prize a pie, but then we realised how stupid that was.
Never too many.
You know, you can never have too many. But we were going to see if we could get hold of a Chinese pie, so we could have a red one, that kind of thing. But we don't know what it will be yet, and it probably won't be a motor controller board, because by the time of PiWars you will be sick of motor controller boards. But yeah, we're hoping to sort of release details on that as we get past the 1st of August.